we were chatting just prior to kicking this stuff off. And BitTube's been it's been reliable for me. Quality's good there. Easy to kick off a stream. You could reuse your key and essentially just reboot your stream or restart it every time we want to kick off a stream. So it's pretty nice. It's intuitive. Except the audience, I think the audience isn't there yet. So I have yet to have people pop in and chat. It's nice being on Vim or what used to be DLive, because you had a community of people that just it was smaller, so you had people just hop in and say what's up, whatever. So I miss that, man. I do.
It's been a interesting dynamic since all that went down, right? And you get every now and again I get notifications of people that are on DLive still and doing their live streaming over there, and I was like, oh, I was a part of that community at one time. And then on here, like it's doing rebuilding and meeting people from the Vim community and reaching out to people within the Steam community like we have been and getting them on. So that's been good. But yeah, I hear that. I really do. I think with that, I mean, there's got to be opportunities, and I like the fact that you're over there and using that. I think that's cool. I'll be interested in checking that out sometime as well.
Yeah, I just switched up all my posts to include a BitTube link and all that good stuff. A little icon. The problem is, again, video on demand. So unless I'm recording it and upload it, then the stream's not there. So it's similar to Vim in that aspect.
Mm-hmm. You mean afterwards?
Afterwards, right.
Right. So you still have to record it.
Yep.
Gotcha. And I'm getting the green, like the things in OBS. I'm getting the green, yellow, red things going on my stream. So I don't know if it's messing up for you guys and what you can see. I know it's not messing up our Zoom call.
Yeah, no, you're coming through pretty good.
Good. How about you, Sean? Are you up and loaded yet?
I am not. I was trying to do D2, but it is not working as usual. But I thought I'd try because I'm starting to build a computer over there, so that'd be fun to do. But before long, I'll probably just jump on to Vim since this isn't seeming to work.
Come on, DTube.
So I've actually heard from Waymoen that DTube is going to discontinue their live streaming for the moment, just because of some of the issues and such.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I mean, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they bring it back or get some people that could actually work on it and get it up to par to compete with these other guys. Because I don't know. It is live streaming is one thing that we just need. We need a solid platform for.
Absolutely. And we need a community for.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. To me, that's more important than, I think they can compete, but like you said, it's so many things. It's a couple different things, and it's fine, right? You have to meet developers where they're at, just like they meet all of us where we're at. But I think the community piece is more important than the tech for right now. Yep. What do you guys think? You agree, disagree?
Agree.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you've got to build that out first. It's like having, and we talk about this constantly in just the department I work in from a corporate standpoint. You could buy software licenses for these incredible tools, but if you don't have processes in place where people are talking, communicating, those tools are worthless.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Yeah, I see it I guess in a similar light. Yeah, you got to build community up.
Yeah, they can be great tools.
Yeah.
How many, Patrick? How many people you have watching on your stream? Are you live?
I am. Looks like we have. Counting myself, looks without me, there's 4 people in here.
Sweet.
And mine too. So that's cool, right? I mean, that's
Right on.
actually pretty neat. So speaking of, welcome to the Steeming Pile. This is our raggedy start. We haven't even set our agenda or gone through our topics yet. We got a couple people here in with us live as well. And if you're watching on my stream, we have an integrated chat in here from Vim, so you can put your stuff in there. I'll try to watch it as best I can. And then we have a call-in number. Or you can go to zoom.us in your browser and type in that 468-186-430. We got ESP change here.
Hi, I'm a little bit late. Hello.
That's
How's
all right.
it going, man?
Thank you for reading me, us. Good to see you. Y'all are my community. We got to advocate for each other. That's why I think community helps. It's because we can advocate for each other. Right?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
That guy's cool. I know him. He's part of my community. He's my fam.
That's right.
Right? And I'm reluctant to, just because I fall in with a group of people, to refer to them as my fam. I mean, there haven't been many jobs. I've worked a billion jobs in my lifetime where I went, that's my company. But there have been a few, where you feel like you've got, you're like-minded and you've got similar attitudes and you're into the same stuff, So you guys are my fam, and I'm glad, and I'd advocate for you any darn time.
Well, hell
Right on,
yeah.
man.
Hell yeah.
I've added your name to our list as a contributor.
Ooh, okay. Neat.
So take that.
So far, so good. Thanks.
And then TJH is here. What's going on? What's the SEP next to your name?
That stands for the Straight Edge Punks, my organization.
Gotcha. What's new with you guys?
Well, we just revived our YouTube a couple hours ago.
Oh, you went back to the evil society.
I mean, it's all about getting people that we know to come over here. We've also revived our Twitter and Instagram to kind of try and do the same thing, because it's honestly, you guys are great, but for people like me that kind of miss the people over there, it's kind of lonely.
I hear you. And it also sounds to me like you've been using Share to Steam, and so that's why you're reviving those accounts too.
Of course, it's Share the Steam.
Who found that? Patrick, did you find that or
That
what?
was Pat.
Yeah, that was one of my things.
No.
I know damn well that YouTube isn't going to pay us.
Now, do you know those guys or what?
Only from finding their thing. I found a post that was shared by Taskmaster 445, and he talked about it a little bit. So I joined their Discord, started talking to him, and made a little description post just on how to use it, how to get set up.
You're a gosh darn Steam super sleuth, man.
Well, I've got a couple more tonight to talk about. So
Nice.
Good deal.
Excellent.
Before we get started on that, guys, I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion.
Hell yeah.
So let me go ahead and share my screen. This will be real quick. I didn't do a preemptive on it. I actually didn't do any preemptives because I was doing the restream and I just got caught up in all that stuff. I'm going to move your guys' cameras over so you guys can see that. Does
it count if your preemptives were 15 minutes before the show starts?
Yeah, it's still it's still preemptive. So my browser isn't working for the home crowd. That is going to piss me off. But you guys can see that.
Yes.
That is a shout out from Steeming.
That is.
No.
Yep.
Wow.
So it says if you haven't tuned into the Steeming Pile, you need to do so. And you know what?
Nice.
Yeah. No one else can see it. My viewers can't see it. But just know that it's there, everybody.
Yes.
Steam it.
Well, your viewers
Thanks.
can see it because I'm watching your stream and it's up there.
Is it? That's fucking weird, man.
Now I feel like they're watching us. I have to be careful.
No, it's like something's wrong with my OBS.
I know exactly what you mean. Mine does the same thing whenever I go full screen.
Okay.
You hear it was also up on Patrick's too.
All right. Well, there you go. Uh-oh. Now it's all messed up. Now my full screen mode is all messed up.
Wait, so that's like the Steem said hello and mentioned this thing. This
Yeah,
little
it
thing.
said
You guys-
check out the Steeming Pile if you haven't already.
Wow. Because I mean, this is about as informal and unprofessional as anyone could be. I mean, we're just a group, like I said, a group of like-minded people that are interested in
Yes.
talking about Steam and talking about live streaming. Hell, I'm wearing a robe. I was, you know what? For the sake of this whole situation, I'm going to announce that I'm going to go pee now.
Bring
And I'll be back.
bring back some tarts or some turnovers or whatever
Right.
you have today.
Right. I might go to the kitchen and get some food.
I can't believe you
I'd
just
probably
called us.
pee in a bottle right on camera.
Oh, maybe
But
you
I
can
mean-
do that on your stream.
Steam at the company. I mean, I'm not used to like a company looking at something. Look, the company is looking. You know, like I said, I mean, my thoughts turn towards what is professionalism. You guys are, half of you guys are high, aren't you? You're on drugs, right?
Exactly.
ESP change is coming in here throwing bombs. We get a shout out from Steemit, and he calls us unprofessional. He didn't call us unprepared.
I'm gonna go pee now. Back in a bit. And I'm not kidding. I might bring back turnovers, fritters.
I just had Chinese delivery.
Oh, look, here's a
Okay,
handsome
Nice.
bald guy.
Handsome.
After waiting
Yeah.
20
What,
extra
what are
minutes.
you
for it.
doing?
It's a handsome bald guy. Just hang out with a handsome bald guy.
Oh my gosh, look at that guy.
Not as handsome as you, John.
Oh, never. Not with my face for radio.
I
That
can't hear you.
that bald guy kind of looks like the guy from those shave commercials where they're like shaving their head bald to get the job.
What?
You know, like the razor commercials where the guy like shaves his hair with a razor.
He sees
to get a
everybody's
job at a place
sees
where
everybody's
everyone's
picture,
bald.
and they're all bald, and he gets in
Yeah.
line to get the interview and shaves his head. Well,
All right. Yeah. So who has preemptives today? So John, you said you didn't have any.
so I have that one. Well, that one started with, and I don't have trust that I have screen shares, so I'm not gonna do mine.
Oh
But
yeah. Hold
I
on.
did
But
see another fight brewing. There's another fight brewing between Bernie Sanders and Hyman Danger, and
Again.
there's blackmail involved, and
oh shit.
it's getting
What?
legit. It's getting legit.
Oh
So
man.
this is gonna turn into whale wars. I think I might go buy like a little boat to go across my green screen. And then come up and be like,
You know,
"Hey
if-
everybody, welcome to Whale Wars," and I'll just like read off all the shit that's going down.
Oh, you could pay per
Not
view
bad.
that, man.
Well, if anyone's
Jesus.
interested, you know where to reach me. We can put a show together, no problem. Who's got green screens here?
I do.
Nada. I need to pick one up. We've got a green sheet. I just need to put it up.
In my basement, set up as a Titantron for a wrestling organization, but
Yeah, because you can do that, I think. Because if there's 4 people, well, the only thing that would show it would be interesting because how it would show up on Zoom if there were 4 people and we all had green screens. You could do it, but there would still be like a black cross between the 4 cameras.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it wouldn't show up fully. We'd have to figure out a way to make that work. All right.
it
Sorry.
does sound interesting.
I have
Now,
no preemptives.
But your retweet by Steam was on a post though, correct?
It was a post to, there's a new lady,
Right.
and she is on there, and I'm having, once I start broadcasting, like, I'm not able to use the internet. It takes forever, and I have to, like, figure it out on the back end, then share screen, and so.
Got it. I'll pull it up here.
Okay.
So yeah, so that post you were referring to, let's see if I could find it here.
It was Her name
Oh
is
yeah. So yeah, her
Maria Marilia.
Marilia
I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Marilia
Coutinho,
Coutinho, PhD.
PhD. So yeah, so and this was her post. So this is what she said. I just created a Steam account. I have no idea what will happen. I'm just giving up on Medium and others. If they're going to charge me to read and compensate me for low quality content, then I'll keep publishing and share writings elsewhere. So she's given Steam a shot, and Steam It retweeted her. So it's nice that we've got these other people that somehow are finding Steam It and are trying it out. So I don't know what she is here. So she's a researcher of some sort. She's a professor, a writer, a speaker, coach, a multidisciplinary educator, and also like a power lifter. So it's cool to see random people that might not have any idea what Steam is. All they know is it's a blogging platform, and they're giving it a shot.
Yep, agreed. And Frank Bacon is watching, and he said nothing legit about that blackmail claim. So, right, it is a claim of blackmail. I was more bringing it up to let people know that there's a brewing discussion going on between Bernie Sanders and Hyman Danger.
Oh, more Bernie Hyman drama.
And, on the subject of that, Patrick and Chiron in his chat are apparently booking a match for boxing between them two.
Complete with blackmail.
Let's do it. I wonder if those guys will would ever agree to do something where they would come on a moderated discussion such as ours.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
I would have to
love
be.
that. Yeah,
It would definitely have to be moderated, and obviously we would have to put them in separate breakout groups and then figure out a creative way to bring them together to have the discussion. But it's possible, and the Steeming Pile could help facilitate that discussion.
I got to point out the obvious, but that one post that was so popular that it was, I think, Kevin Long pointing out some of the flaws with Steam that had all the chiming in from the whales, and they all had voices, they all had ideas about the system of economics and different ways of maybe tweaking and changing it and stuff. One thing I did notice there is that if that were a political discussion, it would have taken place in some back rooms.
Right.
I liked it. To me, it was refreshing to have the power players hashing out their differences in a public forum.
Yep.
And on the one hand, I want to say it's because they're naive or don't know any better. On the other hand, I'm wondering it's because, they don't give a shit. It's just a series of sort of a back and forth correspondence and essentially a forum post. I don't know, but like I said, to me, it was good that it all played out in public where everybody could see it.
Well, and I think that's the point of if you want to do things on a decentralized basis and you want to put code up and have a platform that is public and people can be a part of, you have to do some of that stuff out in public and have those types of discussions out there.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on that. And in fact, I'll just lay a little teaser for something I'll tell you guys about next week is that, to me, that's one of the biggest things that's missing on Steam is a public discussion of where our witnesses stand on different issues.
There you go. And that's kind of what I was trying to get at, but I didn't. Thank you for putting that succinctly.
Now, what about the one on what about the witness update on MSP Waves? Is that, and there's also, I think there's another witness show on there as well where there are a bunch that do go on and have some of those public discussions. Hello? My Zoom froze, everyone. So, gonna have to give me a second. I don't know where everyone's at, and this would not be good.
Some
Hello?
hard lines that you can't cross. But everything other than that is a framework of governance that's arrived at by the witnesses. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah, the witnesses essentially act as the consensus mechanism. So
Right.
in Bitcoin, everybody, all the nodes essentially achieve together. So here for the Steem blockchain itself, we're pretty much relying on our votes almost in a representative democracy to our 21 witnesses. Roll 20 plus the random one.
Yeah. But they all have ideas and agendas, just like your representatives in Washington or down at City Hall.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, what you said ties into what I was mentioning. Thank you. Yeah. It's important.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you just check back in.
Yeah, just so you all know, Zoom is not responding on my end. And so at any point,
Interesting.
this conversation might crash.
You-
But
you-
have
you
no
wanna-
fear. I will just start it back up as soon as I'm able to.
Now you're not one of those guys on drugs, right?
When?
I'm sure that.
Are you seeing streamers?
No.
Okay.
But I do see that this Zoom thing is having technical issues.
Hey, can you hand off authorization to
can't.
somebody else,
I
John?
can't.
No, not
Yeah, I
while we're
was right. Well, not while the window's not responding.
Damn it.
And I don't
Gotcha.
want to close it. I don't want to close it. So
Mayday.
you guys carry on. I'll just have an audio version of my stream for
Do you
right
need to
now.
reboot? Will it help? I mean, is there something you can do on your end? You can hear us. Or not?
Well, if I reboot though, the conversation will stop.
Yeah, Zoom
Oh.
closes.
Close the room.
altogether.
Oh, yeah. That's why you were talking about the handoff.
Yeah.
God, I miss the obvious sometimes. Sorry.
It's okay.
Just a quick little. I think you guys might be interested. You guys are familiar with Shapeshift, yeah?
Nope.
No.
So Shapeshift is a wallet, a crypto wallet. One thing that I just heard today, and they just gave a little bit of a teaser, but they're coming out with an NFC device. So if you guys aren't familiar with an NFC device, that's I know Bitcoin has a couple of them out, but they're near field communication devices. So you could shoot,
That's cool.
essentially transactions wirelessly. Anyways, they're playing around with that stuff, and we'll see what it's going to do or what it's going to be capable of. But I found that pretty cool.
Well, and from what I understand, what was it? I want to say that it related to the Arab Spring, and I want to say in Tunisia they were using something like Wicker for encrypted communication, and when that thing got shut down, they used an NFC type approach.
Interesting. Yep.
So for geez, we're so pampered, we're so free, and we're so damn fortunate. You know what I mean? But I think for people in other countries, NFC holds a lot of promise in a more immediate sense than it would for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the application there.
Right.
Yeah. Damn the government. Let's do transactions between ourselves.
That's right.
That they don't need to be privy to.
So what else we got?
What else?
Pat, you've got some preemptives, yeah?
Yeah, I've got a couple of preemptives I can go ahead and share.
Do it.
Let's see. The first one's actually from today. It's an update to something we've talked about in the past a little bit. SteamPress, which SteamPress is it's a WordPress plugin that you can actually install that will allow you to post to your normal WordPress site, your blog or whatever, and it will create a Steam post based on your WordPress blog. What they announced today is the 2.0 version that's going to do a two-way peg to that, which will not only let you just send stuff to Steam, but you'll also have the benefit of getting that same information to be able to access it from the site. So once you install it and you set it up, you can have comments on your page.
Nice.
Now I'm getting an internet connection is unstable.
Right.
Um,
I'm the only one that's using 4G for this.
but once you can go through, leave comments, it'll show almost, it looks a lot like what Steam would look like just on your own personal blog that you would set up. So I think this could go a long way towards bringing them a lot of more mainstream sites, because there's millions of WordPress sites across the web that can now take advantage of their content here on the Steam platform.
So, so question for everybody here. I've been meaning to launch a very simple website just for Gone Rogue or Mickey San Miguel, right? And is it easier just to build one from the ground up, or leverage something like WordPress? What would you guys recommend?
I would probably recommend something like Weebly or Wix if you're just looking for something.
No, not Weebly or Wix, because I mean, I know how those work, and those are like, so basically, if I wanted to transfer any kind of information from, let's say, Wix, if I end up wanting to transfer any kind of info to something else, utilize a different server, anything like that, they won't allow that. So you're held, to Wix, and you can't move your shit.
There's a way to do it, but it's not exactly easy.
So from a year ago, it would have been Hugo on Netlify. Do you have a Git account?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
You've got so a year ago it would have been Hugo on Netlify, but recently the developers of Vue have come up with something for a SPA, a single page application. And I'm going to look through my bookmarks here and figure out what it is. But if I don't find it, because I sometimes get lost in searching for crap, because I'm always just archiving stuff, just throw it in there. And then the search for me sometimes takes, but keep that in mind. From the makers of Vue, there's something that's new, and it just came out in the last few months for easily building and deploying a single page application.
Okay.
What we in the late 90s called a website.
Right.
Of the basic format. Back then it was a menu across the top with 4 tabs. Here's the showcase, about us, contact, and a little bit, some rubbish about history or something. You know what I'm talking about? Right.
Yeah. I mean, I also like the idea of WordPress, and I mean, now you can integrate your Steam page, blogs, the comments and shit. Like, that's fascinating. You could do that. I mean, you could customize some code and put it in there, although it's it's not going to be as simple.
Well, and there's certainly any number of ways to do that, and it's odd to me that your basic SPA these days, and they call it a single page application, is really just a website of your, because all the interactivity you need is perhaps a contact me thing, where they can fill in an open field with some text and hit send, and basically it triggers the email chain, however you set that up. So, but I mean, most people typically their SPA is nothing more than an easy, different way to do what would have been an old-fashioned website of the most basic sense. But
Sure.
What's your purpose? What's your purpose? Like, what do you really want to do?
Yeah. So I think so. Just kind of like what Pat's showing us here. It's a nice way to essentially pile on all of your social media apps, your tweets that you just tweeted out, everything in a single page, in a single, just feed, if you will. People can find you easily, email, whatever it is, right? And you just have this centralized source where everybody can just go and find you wherever the hell you're at.
Yeah, I have to say for myself, it's WordPress. As you can see, I love it just for a lot of the Steam integrations, like you said. Not to mention, if you want to do any type of marketing through it, you can collect there's so many plugins that you can get to allow people to do email. So you can start your own email. I can't think of what it's called, but sending out emails like documentation to people. So I'm very fond of WordPress because it's easy enough for a beginner just to install on a simple server, but you can get as advanced with it as you want if you have any bit of web programming knowledge.
Okay. So you can still So so it's still semi-customizable.
Oh yeah.
Right on.
For example, this is all just with one Steam plugin that it will let you set what you want to bring into it. So it brings in every post I've made about the Steeming Pile. I have one for Steve Shot, all the same stuff. I've actually been kind of working with the same idea that you was talking about to do just that, but for myself.
Yep.
Well, and I didn't want to sound like I'm a salesperson or whatever, but so interestingly enough, I went to go look for that thing that was put together by the Vue people, and it's called VuePress. And my guess is that they called it that because it's directly designed to easily compete with WordPress. And so there's the link in the chat there.
Okay.
But you know,
Vue.js. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and what the person was asking is, you know, what I think Mr. Spalding was asking, what are you going to use it for? Which is really that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the conversation begins. You know, what do you need? What are your needs in terms of the your website / basic application? And I like what Patrick's saying, and he's got some experience with that, which might be the reason to go with that one, because I think Patrick will let you talk to him about stuff like this. He seems like a nice guy.
It's only a friend.
I've always just been a person of simplicity and drag and drop stuff, so that's pretty much why I use stuff like Wix.
Right. That has its place too, dude. Whatever gets the job done.
Yeah, I like I'm more with Patrick. I like the integration. I've been using the SteamPress, widget or plugin for my G1NBC page for Cuyahoga County. So whenever I do a post over there, it automatically goes to Steam. am interested in the token BB stuff that's coming up, where it's going to allow us to integrate chats and discussion forums within WordPress, and so I'll be looking to add that to my platform. And then I like it because you know, I now have my Vim player embedded on the sidebar, and I have a MailChimp plugin where people can request to sign up to a different mailing list for different shows and programs.
Right, exactly. That's what you were.
I haven't been able to get that player to work.
Yeah.
What player?
There you go.
The Vim player.
What do you mean you haven't been able to get it to work? Like the embedded player?
Yeah, like there's like problems with me, like my particular site.
Oh, with
like,
yours. Gotcha. See, there you go. WordPress is more functional.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it sounds like, you know, and if I have any questions, I could leverage you guys. It sounds like good stuff.
For
awesome.
Steam.
Thank you guys.
Just Steam. That's all we
No, you know what that noise
I've
was?
around with WordPress before, for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't, you know, launched anything or actually, you know, was serious about it.
And it's clunky. Like, I think it's a little clunky in terms of how you have to set up the menu, set up the widgets, set up the plugins, and then have it reflect on your page, right? And figure all that stuff out. But once it is figured out with your like skin or with whatever your framework or template you want, and you have all those kinks worked out, then it's just content management after that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's decided. You write it in C++, and then you port it to something else. Go, man.
I like that plan myself.
Yeah, right.
So open source it so I can take the code that you write and do it myself later.
Excellent. Let's dig a trench with a teaspoon.
We're all on the same tier all on the same team here on the Steeming Pile.
Right.
So whatever help you need, let us know.
If someone can make me like a open source drag and drop like Wix like application that works on Linux, then I'll use that and actually put it up on like HostGator or something.
Yeah, I mean, drag and drop is actually, you know, it's becoming more needed, I guess, just because it's intuitive. Not a lot of people have like integrated with their sites though, but it is possible.
Simplicity.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Plus, I'm very lazy. I know how to code, but I'm too lazy.
Where were we with your
All right. Sorry,
preemptive?
Pat. Kind of diverted there, man. But
Yeah.
I
I
know.
appreciate you guys.
Perfect tie-in.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So this other one that I've done for the other preemptive is something that happened almost a week ago, the same day we would have been doing the show last week, but it's called D-Click, and it's actually going to be an AdSense style platform that will be built on the Steam network. So what they'll do is you'll go onto their website, you'll get a link, or you can actually just post directly from their website. And as you do, it will put a little ad at the bottom of it. And as people click on that ad or use your link, you actually earn revenue from their sponsor, their advertisers. So it's a way to replace in the future. It's still very early. I would call it an alpha at this point. But it's going to be a way to replace AdSense for even stuff outside of Steam for your blog as you create it in the
Will
future.
that
Have
be
any
integrated
idea
with
if they're
WordPress?
Gonna allow you like to blacklist certain people you don't want to be advertising your stuff? For instance, like us as a straight edge organization have people like beer
I
companies
wondered that too. Yeah.
go, like blacklisted on AdSense. So would you think they would probably implement that?
I have to imagine that's something they'll look at in the future. That was actually brought up in some of the questions inside of the comments on this post.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
they mainly referenced it that they was going to do categories. So you may say that you want Bitcoin related ads or stuff like that, but they didn't really go into it too much in detail on what their plans are.
Will they have a WordPress plugin?
That is one thing that came up inside of the Discord, and they have said they want to in the future do WordPress and non-Steam site enabled features. This is what they're.
That'd be quite interesting to put on my Weebly or Wix page.
And I went through and I made a post off of this just after finding out about it. Let's see, move this other way. And all it does is it lets you type in at the top, and then it just adds a little sponsored link here at the bottom.
Right.
And then every one of those sponsored clicks, it adds into your dashboard. You can actually just copy that link, and from there, using that link, you can put it on anything now, because essentially they're just tracking that link's click-through rate.
Oh, look at you.
Okay.
Well, and while we've got Rogue here, and I know because last time you mentioned, or was it 2 weeks ago, you mentioned that you use the Brave browser. Was that you, Rogue, that uses the Brave browser?
Yeah.
How does this compare? Because what I'm seeing here with this, and if it's effective and if it's more crypto friendly, then I like that. But what I'm seeing here is kind of the old paradigm with some new crypto friendly options. You see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to how the Brave browser has their thing, their system of commerce set up. So I think that would be worth giving some thought to.
Yeah, I was super excited when I saw this, and I'm glad that Patrick went ahead and did a preemptive on it. I was definitely thinking about it.
Hell yeah.
This is definitely interesting.
Option.
I've used Brave, but only in general, so I'm not quite sure what you guys are.
Well, Brave
Talking
has a BAT token or basic attention token built within the browser. So you have a wallet built in the browser.
What?
And basic attention token is actually aimed at incentivizing, what is it? Advertisements, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I earning without knowing it just by using the browser?
Well, so you could have applied, and you might have some funds in there, but you could have applied for some BAT tokens. They were handing them out as a grant, if you will.
didn't.
And when you go to sites like I don't know, your favorite YouTuber or whatever, when they sign up to be or to receive these things, they're actually being the amount of time that you're spending on those sites, you're actually there's small microtransactions happening in the background, and they get incentivized essentially because you have visited their site or whatever the hell it might be.
Well, and Steam it also. I mean, Steam it. You don't just make funds from. You can make funds from commenting. You can make funds from voting. You can make funds from creating blogs. I mean, so that's their deal too. Is that, you know, I mean, various ways to generate funds. You know, when I first got there, I thought, well, if you create blogs and you become popular, that's how you can do it. But there's other angles they're looking to incentivize as well. Right. I say angles, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that if we're looking into various options, this one looks a little closer to the old paradigm, then it looks to me like the Brave browser and the BAT token is a little bit closer to the new paradigm, and what it offers is more possibilities, just more ability to customize things. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I have to try and wrap my head around it. Right?
This was one of the
this
things.
This isn't my forte. Sorry, go ahead, Pat.
This is part right here that I have highlighted. It's actually one of the things that stuck out to me most of all, because me and Eric Wilson have talked quite a bit about how you can make Steam become something that you can utilize past 7 days.
Right.
And now just by including these links in your blog, if you can somehow convince your followers to give you a click, you're now enabling yourself to earn well past the Steam or the Steam Network 7-day cutoff.
That is cool.
So I think that could be. I really am just excited for what this platform could bring. Right now, it is very early. Don't get me wrong, but
no, but that's cool.
I wonder how they did that.
On the show about that, you know, about how big the need for some way to use evergreen content, or why do we need to even worry about that if we can't earn over 7 days? So that would be very interesting.
No one likes that 7-day hurdle. I have yet to hear anyone go, "Oh, I like that 7-day limit."
Exactly. There's so many times, especially when I was a starter, you know, I mean, we didn't have, you know, the things we have now. But when I was first starting, you had to go to Google and search for help. You know, that's how I was finding it. So, I mean, it would be real nice to have awarded some of those older posts that helped me so much in the beginning. So.
Right on. Absolutely.
Good chip, Pat. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
That's a good one. Well, I cannot connect to the Vim servers right now. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm.
Jeez.
It's because Patrick and I are taking up all the bandwidth.
Katie and I had that problem yesterday, actually. We both dropped our streams multiple times. I don't know if it's maybe there's something playing around with the servers to.
Katie's stream never stays up.
I saw you guys. You were playing Blackout, right?
Blackout and Fortnite just kind of makes.
Man, I got to get you and her playing with me and my wife. That's the only way we're ever gonna get her on. But I think I could do it. She was like, "Oh, can I play?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm streaming." And she kind of thought about it.
I call it Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
What's that, TJ?
I call the game Call of Duty Black Ops 4, a new porno from Activision.
That's the spinoff.
Booty.
But no, I think it's pretty fun. I don't know. I was never into Fortnite. The building wasn't great. Actually, today got to play finally the beta for the new Fallout, which was pretty fun. So that was cool. That's a ADHD moment right there. I don't even know what the hell we were talking about before, but I think there was any other preemptives. That was the one. Like I said, DSnap was the one I was. No.
I still didn't hear. I didn't hear the last part. That I think you said DSnap.
No, I said, was there any more preemptives?
Oh no.
I'll have to
have
think
lots.
about mine. I mean, you guys are doing better than I am. At the last minute, you throw together something. No, I mean, you've given this some thought clearly, but oftentimes I come in here, I'm like, well, what has caught my interest lately while you guys are talking?
See what I use the bookmark feature on Steam Peak now.
Okay.
So
That's a good
through
one.
the week, I start reading. I'll bookmark a couple things, go back and look into which ones I want to
Right.
do.
And I would put it to the viewers too. I would say if there are things out there, either cool projects or posts that we missed or we might not know about, we
Yeah.
would look for you guys to put that in chat too and lead us in the right direction. We
If
can
you're
pick
watching the Simos,
live curation and bring those up and talk about them as well.
Yeah.
what's
First,
caught your interest? Go ahead.
I do want to give a shout out to Sean though. He's been super active with Share to Steam, his snaps and shit. He's just like, dude, you were getting incredibly involved in the crypto space and utilizing as many tools as you could find, and like that's what it's all about, dude. It's a good shit, man.
I appreciate that, man. I really I went over doing the snaps now on DTube and getting a lot of, really influential followers there and people that I'm hooking up with over there. And so that's cool. Trying to work on, lots of stuff other than that should be coming up, and interview shows and whatnot. And I'm going to I'm going to say his name wrong, but Andreas Antonopoulos.
Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close.
Okay.
Antonopoulos.
Right. So that's coming up. I think on the 10th of November. So I'm going to that. Just a couple minutes from me.
And that's more, dude. That's even better than the one that we went to, because that seems like it's an intimate setting.
Where is this going to be?
This is in Seattle.
For you. I'm a fanboy almost.
Yeah, I know.
Like 20 minutes outside of Seattle. I guess they're doing a show, a pre-show, which is a showing of a movie, a documentary about, I don't know, the revolution of, crypto coming to power and getting more popular. I think it was something like that. Can't really remember. But and then after that, he comes and does like a speech where I guess it's like not pre-planned or anything. He just comes out there and talks, answers questions, and then there's a book signing. So my plan is to do all that. I guess in between there's like a halftime where you can go get cocktails and go get a drink, talk to people about Steam afterwards instead of, getting in line for, a book signing or anything. That I'll be still talking, just hang out and do some networking. So it should be fun. And of course I'll come back and have a full report. So
right on.
So do you have any of Andreas's books yet?
Oh no.
I would highly encourage you to grab one.
Buy one and make them sign it.
It will be worth it.
Take a picture of it.
Yeah. Like
I really should. Anyone to start
these
with.
are great.
Oh, that's the one. It's the Internet of Money tour.
Yeah. So he has 2 volumes of that, 1 and 2.
Okay.
Great small little summarized versions of his talks, but great book to go through, man.
Cool.
My favorite talk of his, he gave at the Baltic Honey Badger Conference, and I want to say that was in 2017. And he gives titles to his talks because he travels all the time and he gives these same talks over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's clear to me that he's got like a dozen or 20 to choose from. And the title of this talk is called Less Than Useless.
Yes.
And it is fantastic, because I'm very much into the philosophical side of this, and I'm very much into the human aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so him giving the talk at Baltic Honey Badger is a terrific talk. And there's also another guy at the end of the Baltic Honey Badger thing that, and you can find all this stuff on God, I hate to say it, YouTube. But there's also a guy who gives a terrific talk about time stamping and what's involved with time stamping. Mm-hmm. And the sort of thinking that took into that he had to tackle some big picture problems in order to arrive at a sensible approach to time stamping. And I'm kind of a nerd. I thought that was fascinating, but definitely check out Less Than Useless.
There's at the blockchain summit I just went to here in Boulder. There was a project, and honestly, I haven't even looked into it too much. But the Solano blockchain, it actually revolves around timestamps. So
Interesting.
anyways, yeah, you
Right.
can check that out. I'll toss it in chat.
And I'm putting a link up there too. So go ahead, go Leafage.
No, you're good, man.
Things that are
I put a link in there too. If someone wants to open that and bring it up, Andrew Levine or Andrarchy tweeted this out. He said the University of Nicosia is the first to offer a master's in crypto, and they're doing some awesome work on the Steem network. And he put in a link to this link on Steemit, and the University of Nicosia Andreas also runs these massive open online courses, these MOOCs for the university. So if you click on that one, the actual link, and it'll bring into Steemit, you can see where this is their University of Nicosia digital program, and they just put all of their MOOC information on there. But I would suggest registering for those MOOCs and taking them. Andreas does live Google Hangouts with people on YouTube,
Right on.
answers questions and things like that. But they also give you PowerPoint, slideshows, articles, and it's a MOOC, so it's free. For in hopes that you get your certificate and you want to continue with the master's degree in crypto. So I definitely tell people about that all the time. I'm actually doing the DFIN 510 right now.
Maybe I ought to go get a master's in crypto. How badass would that be?
You should. Well, actually,
Absolutely.
ESP change, that could be your content, right? Could be you getting your master's degree, and you can just take us to class.
Oh, the content's coming along. Dude, I've got some write-ups. I've got it all parsed out. It's coming along. I'm going to put a bunch of stuff up there. It's you guys know me, and from my occasional rants that I'm prone to the vast outpouring. I'll be silent for hours at a time, and then all of a sudden it's like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, really. Let me shut up for hours. No, I'll shut up for hours.
No. Just kidding.
Zip it, ESP.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
For any of you guys that didn't know, Andreas actually does have a Steam profile as well.
Yeah.
It's A. Antonop.
I didn't know that.
He's only posted one post because there was a bunch of people trying to impersonate him to get his rewards back from about 9 months ago, and he had a hefty takeaway. He's actually never even claimed those rewards. They're still waiting in his wallet to be claimed.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
I didn't know he had one. I went and looked for one.
I'll remind him. I'll be like, hey, man.
Hey.
Oh, you should. That'd be awesome.
If I get his ear or something or get a question, maybe that'll be the question. Okay, there we go.
No, we need to Twitter bomb him.
Ask him a question. What would it be?
Get him to donate it to the Steeming Pile as long as you agree to treat it as capital for the Steeming Pile.
We need to, on that same line, we need to just Twitter bomb him and figure out any way to get a hold of him as we can, because he takes questions that he answers weekly on his YouTube channel. And so we'll just get him on the show and start tweeting him and putting stuff comments in Steam. And also, I would use that. I would go through the University of Nicosia.
I'll go into his live chat on YouTube and start annoying the piss out of him.
No. Yeah. I don't know if we need your subversive tactics. This is getting Andreas Antonopoulos on the Steeming Pile.
Yeah,
oh, no.
But believe it or not, man, after we went to go see him in where the hell was it? In Denver. And after the book signing, I tweeted something out to the book and just, thanked him for his stuff. The dude actually followed me back on Twitter.
Wow.
So, yeah, Andreas following me on Twitter.
Right.
I don't see the request is that far off to have him come on.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No,
man. Reach for the stars.
Absolutely.
Look
here. I'm scrolling through the Steemit front page here, and I just saw the drama between Bernie Sanders and Hyman Danger.
It's cool, ain't it? It's fun.
What is going on? What is going on? Somebody summarize.
I haven't looked into it at all. That's
all I know is I commented a couple days ago, and I got the most downvotes ever. Like
wait,
8 or 9.
Who did you comment to, and what did you say?
Oh,
infamy.
And while you're looking for that, Sean.
Yeah.
While you're looking for that, Sean, ESP, why don't you screen share and Let's do a little live
well-
reading here.
Okay, so yeah, let's see what we got here.
Unless anyone opposes.
If I can for 1 second, Katie actually wanted me to cover this post. She dropped it in my chat. This is a show that's being done on DTube regularly called the Steam Sister Show. And when we was talking about wives playing Call of Duty, she actually brought it up. I didn't notice it. But these are a couple Steamians that have came together and both very popular just in their own right, but came together and decided they wanted to start making content that was not your traditional crypto-based content. And if you've ever watched any of their stuff, it's actually well put together. They do a really good job of just making good normie, I guess, content for people that might enjoy the Steam or might want content that's not on not normally found on Steam.
Spooky. I think I followed
Part of
Chorus.
my,
Okay, nice.
networking was that I was reaching out to people in the Seattle area, and one of them I just recently talked to. Speaking of the community I'm building on DTube, I was just talking to her about that because she lives somewhere just north of me. So she's on the list because I'm going to start trying to put together some sort of meetup in the area, and she showed interest, and she knew a couple other people in the area. So yeah, that's very cool. It's funny how that works. You meet someone and then you're bringing her up. I mean, the community grows.
So speaking of starting a meetup in your area, I was going to do that
Yeah.
too, Steam-based. But on Meetup, the actual site, you have to pay to start a meetup.
Yeah, fuck that.
Damn it.
No, you.
Is that wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that
It is
'cause
wrong.
I've started a meetup without having to pay.
When?
Oh, really? Interesting.
When though?
This was last year.
Do it the old-fashioned way. Just print out a bunch of flyers and staple it to people's houses and shit.
Yes, I'm sure I'll be getting a lot of people interested in Steam by just pasting it to people's houses in Cleveland, Ohio.
Or you just put up a sign in the neighborhood at the end of the block that says, you know, do you need your lawn mowed? And underneath that, you put something about steaming.
But first of all, I'm not mowing anyone's lawn. I would be more like a sell mattresses or the diabetes test strips or something like that.
Well, that's the attention getter. And then you drag them into a scheme.
And you know, it's almost Halloween, so you know you could dress up as Billy Mays and walk up on their lawn with a fog machine. Hi, Billy Mays here for Steeming. You gotta go on this platform.
So
Perfect.
with that, one of the funniest and first videos, and I wish I could find it, that drew me into this platform, and it was this. It was, the guy was British. I don't know who it was, but it was like one of the first videos I saw on Steam, and I'm like, oh, I definitely have to get involved with this. And it was in the beginning of the year, and he would set up outside the banks in Great Britain or the UK, somewhere in the UK, and he'd be like, and he had a megaphone. He was just like, hey guys. He'd be like, they're printing free money in there. Why don't you just take one of my cards and get real money, crypto money? And it was hilarious. And the people from the banks were like coming out and calling security and all that kind of stuff. And he just has all these videos of him setting up in different malls with a just big, huge Steam table, just handing out cards and information and da-da-da-da. I thought it was a great strategy.
Hey. So I'm going to share the screen here, see what happens. And see if there's anything that I've found of interest lately. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's the I'm endangered thing, the cold read. Like I said, I haven't even looked at this.
So
Oh,
Hyman
God.
By the
Danger
way, I
him
couldn't
to
find
blackmail
anything,
me.
but it was between them, and I was just saying something like, man, you make a good point. I can't even remember who it was or which side it was, but I'm like, you make a good point, but then you're going and like using derogatory word, or like, you know what I mean? It's like they make a good point, but then you use ad hominems.
Yeah,
I'm
the ad
just like,
hominem.
that's part of it, is that it just drives everyone away, whereas she just came in with a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently I was on the wrong side because I got no upvotes.
Well, that's the other thing too, is right. You're not even allowed to voice an opinion as a user or just someone on the platform because the other side will downvote you.
Good point. I can't even remember.
And that's
who it was or
literally
which
how
side
I
it was,
framed
but
it.
I'm like,
too.
you
I
make a
was
good.
like, well,
Yeah,
It's like
I don't really.
that's part of
have
it.
a
Is
side
that
on
it
this,
just
but
drives
it
everyone
sounds to
away.
me
Like they're right, but also being a dick.
Yeah,
Which I get.
I don't even know if I want to dignify this by reading it. I mean, just
Oh man,
seriously.
That good, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then we
it
mentioned
can't be
Reddit.
any. It can't be any worse than what you
trusted
read
that
from
book.
your boy.
My
That
boy,
guy.
oh,
That guy
yeah.
that upvotes his own stuff and.
Yeah, actually, I just saw one from him. Let's go look at that instead. That and boy, he has another one of these wonderfully compelling titles. Hold on, here it is. Oh God, there it is. Education is never ending.
He's right. He's so right though.
God Almighty, I'm going to try and read this. It hurts me to read this guy's stuff. This is not an argument against furthering our studies, but more of a different perspective on a traditional paradigm. I'm going to read it like it's clunky because it's clunky. If you're a reader of this blog, you're well aware of how important I believe breaking paradigms are, and this is one that comes to mind right now. Oh my God, stop writing. In many countries and cultures, we're told that we have to follow a set path. Duh. We have to go to school, go to college, get a good degree, and then be successful. Believe me when I tell you that formula works very rarely and at least broken down simply. Stop. Anyway, okay, so I'm done with that. I'll just be mean, so I need to quit that. Here's what I did catch. What did catch my interest recently, and it's because well, you know, here's for my segment entitled "Slog Through Your Blogs." I've got a number of segments and I'm putting together some stuff. I'm going to go. I have to get at CHB artist, and I'm not the first person who's responded in this way. You know, thank you for pointing out the obvious and making it clunky and confused. But so that's going to be. I can't foresee doing the slog through your bogs thing. You know, and it's going to be a good-natured, a well-intended approach to critique, hopefully. You know, but it's going to be via video. And come talk to me if you want to. I'll make myself available. But so it's not to patently offend people, and it's not just to be mean. There's nothing productive that's going to come from that. It's to point out that we can do better. But never mind all that for now. Here's what caught my interest. I'm positive too sometimes, believe it or not. I'm not completely cynical, jaded, and pessimistic. This thing I had bookmarked this, I believe, on. Maybe it was YouTube days before, but George Gilder is a brilliant man.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and he's been writing books for 40 years.
Yep.
And you really ought to go listen to what he has to say about the potential and the possibility for blockchain. And of course, I can't help but sort of try and factor this against that thing that I pointed you guys to, which was the Slovenian philosopher named Zizek. And, you know, and at the time, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that this report came out from the UN. It was a comprehensive report, and it was the most important thing that the UN had published in terms of global warming. And they said, we've got about 12 years to make a significant impact, or you can just wash it all away. And so Zizek was saying, I'm sorry if you've heard all this before, it's a verbal repost here, but Zizek was saying essentially that it might take big units and centralized structures in order to make big moves quickly. And I'm wondering if we're at this race against time and we see nationalism brewing more and more in various countries, the more problematic things become politically and economically, then do we need to take the nation state approach, the larger centralized approach, because we can't address things effectively otherwise in the process of decentralizing? I hope that made sense. But what George Gilder does is he points to the potential and the possibility for decentralization, not just in terms of money, but in terms of governance. And in terms of all kinds of applications that we're only beginning to scratch the surface of. Mm-hmm. And you guys, we hit on these types of things all the time here. Sometimes we're thinking out loud. Sometimes we're pointing at something new in the space. Sometimes we're pointing at a post on Steem It itself. But we hit on this stuff all the time. We're just starting to scratch the surface of the potential for blockchain technology. And so here's a really intelligent guy who talks about some really important stuff going forward. So I encourage all of you to go look at George Gilder's thing. Having said that, I did what I always do, and I went over here to clean trending. And if you're new to it, and if you're watching the simulcast and you've never seen the simulcast before, I always go to clean trending, and it's a site on steamwhales.com, the / here, and then clean-trending, and it's where you can tell of the votes that show up on the top pages over on Steam, which I believe is going to be the trending page. How much of those votes have been cast by bots here? Can you guys see my mouse? It's a shit ton of them. So I can't get encouraged about that. But lo and behold, here's George Gilder's post, or the post about George Gilder, posted by Newsflash, okay? And thankfully, he's really honest here. He says, disclaimer right here at the bottom. This post was heavily promoted using promotion bots. The reward shown is not reflective of the community's interest at large. He's saying something in terms of, all he has done is created a pointer here. This is not Newsflash's content, you know, and yet it has, what are we looking at in terms of monetization at this point? 463.45. So I'm seeing a guy who basically creates a pointer on Steemit to some valuable information. And that's all well and good, but this is not really content creation, and it's not what I'm interested. You know, I don't know. Maybe these types of things should fall in a different category. You know, but welcome to modern journalism. You know, where much of alt media, it's not really journalism per se. It's just pointing you at some interesting stuff that you find outside of the mainstream media.
Right.
Right. So it has its own merit, but again, it might should be in a different category to my thinking.
But it's in computing.
Well, what I'm saying is that Newsflash made 463.45 off of it, and all he did was create a pointer and a link. Yeah, I don't really. I'm not sure how this is all supposed to parse out.
Right, I got you. So, right, and it goes back to the question of, can you take someone else's video, put it up there, put a couple words underneath it,
right, and call it content creation.
Right.
Right, when really it's just a pointer. Well, certainly you can make some Quan, some dough as we call it, off of that, and certainly you can point people to some good information, some much needed information that they wouldn't maybe typically stumble upon, and it's at the top of the heap as it should be. But maybe that I don't want to say the same. I'm beating a damn dead horse here. And besides, I promised you I'd shut up for 2 hours. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And so that was CHB Artist. You guys got to go read CHB Artist. I mean,
why when you do it every week?
Well, it's just like I said, it's clunky, it's confusing, it's obvious stuff. It's like the anecdotes that he draws from his real life that you're supposed to. Those are the things that hopefully are going to engage you. You know what I mean? And they're like, dude, I don't know. Everybody go read CHB Artist, and I'm not going to tell anybody to downvote a person, but if you were to downvote a person, that might be your guy. And yeah. And tune in tomorrow for more Hyman Danger. What is it?
Bernie Sanders
dramedy. Yeah, it could be a tearjerker. It could be laugh a minute. Who knows? God knows.
All Seeing You is here, so she's firmly on the side of Hyman Danger, Frank Bacon.
I wouldn't say I'm firmly on anyone's side but my own. It's almost Halloween. You know what I mean?
I like that mask, by the way.
Nice.
It's a dollar store find.
Oh,
that's true. I shouldn't have said that you're firmly on anyone's side, because you did do that great Bernie Sanders video.
Well, Bernie and I are like buddies or whatever, you know, so, but everybody gets along with me.
What's going on over there? Why is everyone fighting over there?
Because people, I don't know.
It's
people
a test fest,
I guess.
Assholes.
Fucking assholes. I don't know. Like, why wouldn't you fight? If you've got unlimited power and you can hurt people, why wouldn't you want to? You know? Like, why wouldn't you want to do that?
Speaking of Halloween, I have the urging the Blair typo negative.
Yes.
I haven't heard that typo negative.
You haven't heard of typo negative?
No, I said I haven't heard that one. Is that a song or is that an album?
No, it's a band.
I missed the urge and the blur part then. I don't know what I thought that was an album or.
Oh, he had an urge to blare the music.
Gotcha. I don't have good ears.
I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Maybe it's time to get a hearing aid. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. One last thing.
Wait, one last thing for you, or are you telling us we got to go?
No, you guys do your thing. I've got to mention one last thing that I overlooked in the preemptives, and it's not on Steam at this time. It's an article in Scientific American, and I'll put a link in the chat there. It's entitled "The American Economy is Rigged," and the reason I just thought of this is when you talked about Bernie Sanders and your encounter with Bernie Sanders, you used the term abuse, and you might get this idea that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Is that the trite phrase that goes way back? So, and when power concentrates, you might get this idea that there's it tends to be abusive. And that article in Scientific American called "The American Economy is Rigged," it rattles off about 6 or 10 or a dozen points about what happens when power concentrates and it gets to be abusive. And the next thing you know is it rigs and designs the very system in which we all live. So you got to go check that thing out. No, I'll shut up.
I think that if you're an asshole, then you get some power, then you're just like a powerful asshole. Because if you look at Full-Time Geek, you know, he's not an asshole. He's got plenty of power. He doesn't have as much as Bernie, and Bernie loves that about Geek. I think that that's why they're battling or whatever. I just wish that Bernie would like lay the fuck off the little fish.
Well, and there have been studies that indicate, and there have been books written about this, that we've created a toxic culture such that it tends to be the psychopaths that rise to the top. So there's some stuff to support that. I forget the name of the book, but there's an author who wrote that, and he goes and he talks to a bunch of very wealthy people. And I remember him doing an interview on NPR, and he said, of the very wealthy people I talked to, the one guy who seemed to be really a good intention, just a really good guy trying to do well with his wealth, made it on his own. It came from a horrible adversity when he was younger, and he was just so very markedly different than the others that you couldn't miss it. So again, that's this idea that we've created a system where the psychopaths tend to bubble to the top. But I like what you said, because I don't blame money per se. It's not the money itself. Money is a product of mind. And my question is, where'd you get your money and what are you using it for? And if what I see is indicative of very little character or contribution, then do we need another psychopath like that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, he does make things fun. And the people that like him a lot.
Well, and I'm not a Puritan. I'm not going to say you can't do that. And I'm not going to go authoritarian and say, we need to get rid of all people like this. Yeah, there's some value in that. I guess people like titillation.
He is kind of a funny guy.
People like dramedy. It has its place.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm thoroughly entertained by it. I'm like, all right, what's going on in Bernie Sanders' world today? And I said, oh, look at that. Look at that.
Sell bracelets. What would Bernie Sanders do?
Listen, I'm here. I'm here to learn just as much as I'm here to be entertained.
Sure.
So, and that goes into the thing, right? Like where you have, like you, Hispy, you have a lot of more of a critique of people's content, where I'm more like, where can I go find some good stuff that either I want to read or I want to listen to or I want to watch.
Right.
And yours is more like, is this content that we should be curating or discussing or da 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 da. So, and that's the thing about decentralization, I think, is like, I don't think we all know how it's going to end up.
Yep.
No, yeah,
You're going to have, we might have crazies in every different platform or every different dApp and several. And so the thing is, though, now is that these guys are like, there's only, I still don't, and I'm learning every day about the rewards platform on Steam and how it works. But, you know, they take a lot of it on silly banter and battles back and forth, as opposed to what we should really be doing here, and that is figuring out what is the next level of this blockchain and where can we take it. And I think that's why I like this show, because that's what we try to do here is, what's the good stuff out there? What are some apps out there? What are some posts out there and people out there, and making those connections?
Well, and in a sense, you know, I'm just, I think of it as self-deprecating humor when I call myself cynical, jaded, and pessimistic. And I'm not always critical. You know, I'm looking for a balance just as much as anybody else. I like my entertainment, and moreover, I like some lowbrow entertainment. You know, I've got a dark streak in me, and you know, I'm not above the potty humor, not at all. If it's funny, it's funny. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, but I think maybe what it is maybe a little bit of it relates to the age difference, because adulting, in my mind, is, and I might have mentioned this before, it's having difficult conversations about important things in a mature way, and that shit is hard to do. The fun stuff's fun. The easy stuff's easy. I love it, dude. I can stop and smell the roses. But where we make the progress is having those, you know, difficult conversations about important things in a mature way. And God knows we got a lot to work on.
Yeah.
So.
And I like on the first thing you just brought up not too long ago, me and Narashi, I brought it up with Narashi, and I think of these potential scenarios. And for instance, imagine everybody was economically or financially free. Like, how would their characters change? How would their interactions change in society? Like, that shit fascinates me. Why? Because at some point, then you get to either see, and perhaps it's tainted and we've corrupted our fucking consciousness and shit like that. But to a point, we'll see the most genuine side of people, right?
Yeah.
They then get to say whatever they want to say without any repercussions. And it to me, it's interesting to see how something like that might unfold. It's crazy.
That's true, babe. And you were also saying too, like, you posed the idea, like, would people even still have the motivation to contribute to society, right?
It goes back to I think what John and essentially what I think ESP and John might be trying to say is where are you putting your money at, right? Where are you investing in? What are you contributing? What is there any value in that? Who finds value in that? All kinds of these questions come up, right? It's fascinating shit, man.
Yeah.
It is. And we all do that. I'm sure we all do that. You're not alone. I mean, what does the future look like? Or if I can envision a certain future, what would that entail? You know, what questions would it raise? What solutions would it bring? All that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you do that. I don't feel like an alien. I'm not the only one that does that, you know, and my guess is everybody does. You know, but I was just jotting down some stuff. I take a lot of notes because my mind is racing quite a bit of the time. And, you know, I mean, open source versus proprietary. These are at the opposite end of the spectrum. We may have to go more with one. We may have to go more with the other, or we may go exclusively with this one and drop this one altogether. My guess is that this is nothing new, in a sense, open source versus proprietary. You know, I talk about how Chicken Soup has always been open source. And people can still make money at Chicken Soup. If you make a bitchin' chicken soup and you package that, you can open up a store downtown. You could have that be the feature of your restaurant, and you could be a successful chicken soup maker. But it's always been open source. You see what I'm saying? On the other hand, you know, there's proprietary stuff. Campbell's has a whole rack at your grocer's at your grocery store and that stuff. You know it's Campbell's. It's got the same label on every can. So, you know, open source versus proprietary, centralized versus decentralized, silos or inclusive, you know, authoritarian versus libertarian. How's this going to play out? Science, you know, versus art and mystery. I don't want to get into spiritual, but, you know, how's this stuff going to play out?
This is a good segue here.
All right.
Other than bringing up Narashi's graphic, which we're going to look at right now, is next week's episode is the midterm coverage for the United States elections.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
And so we have to talk about what we're going to do, say, and talk about. But let's see. Go ahead, Narashi. Take it over. Look at that kick-ass graphic.
Off to the left, you guys will see preemptive strikes done by all of you lovely folks. Here in the middle is just like some questions, shit that we were pondering. Right, we just said, where are you investing your value? And then earlier, Gone Rogue was asking, better to build a website from scratch or WordPress, and then kind of just random stuff off to the right there with what's new. We've got War of the Whales. Public forums need to be on Steemit. Shapeshift coming out with NFC device, and then notes from ESP changes. Little rant about the American economy from the article. And then down in the center, of course, we have our lovely guests.
And All Seeing You needs an E at the end.
E.
And then the other one is, I'll get you the Twitter account, or the actual, do we have the Steam account of that lady that was new to Steam It that we all did a shout out to on Twitter? Let's get that one in there too.
Yeah, just throw that in the chat.
Let me ask.
Which lady on Twitter?
I will tell you in just a second.
And I was looking for that, and I couldn't find it. So
okay.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Boy, that's bright. It's very bright. It's very white.
The colors.
Yeah.
Here we could do something crazy.
Let me ask if there's anybody that's watching your simulcast that's never seen the Steeming Pile before to just type a 1 into the box there. I'm just curious.
There you go.
Are we getting any new people? Do we got any new blood to prey on? Or
since my Zoom shut down, all my viewers went over to Patrick's screen, and he's not saying anything, so we'll see.
Where does this go? You guys want?
He just cracks up on camera, out of context.
Yeah, Patrick is like half asleep. He's been having a conversation with Katie about her trying to get him to come to bed.
Do we know that for sure? Or is that reckless speculation?
Who's Katie? Is Katie
There's like a little conversation over here. You can look at it if you want.
Yeah, Katie's Pat's wife.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess that's okay.
And it's still a little speculation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's Halloween. Any special plans for
it? Is.
I'm taking the kids around to get candy in the neighborhood.
Blair typo negative and piss off my entire neighborhood.
That sounds pretty normal.
I gotta go pick up. Razor blades and straight blades.
Oh my God!
Razor blades and what?
Dude, you want to talk about? Is this platform?
Oh, you don't know about
down?
that? Who's confused by the razor blades? I didn't catch that.
It's just wrong.
Me, I missed that. Razor blades and
you're too young.
Straight pins.
You're too young.
Candy,
Yes,
people sabotaging candy.
There was a like an urban legend that
It was a scare back in the day.
yeah, back in the day.
Oh shit!
people
About the
putting-
candies.
putting stuff in the candy.
That's what killed Halloween for a long time. You know.
Yeah.
Jesus,
You're too
propaganda runs deep, man.
Well, and it's the same thing that killed hitchhiking. All you have to do is come up with a few stories on the news about people that were, dumped in the desert somewhere. And
Parenting changed because of that, because of 24-hour news, just all of a sudden everyone worried that their kid was going to be the one that was taken, and so all of a sudden you don't let them play outside. Mine, I'm like, shit, I make him go outside. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah, that was the year the helicopter parent was born.
See, I won't even let my kid. My kid's 15. My younger one's gonna go out in a group, so she's safe. But I don't want him going out in a group because he's a fucking troublemaker. So I'm taking him to a metal concert. That'll be fun too.
I'm probably gonna trick or treat, and if I do, I'm dressing as an Assassin's Creed. So when I have my switchblade attached to my jacket,
Aren't you too old to trick or treat?
Yeah, you're a little too old.
hey, you're never too old to go get free candy.
I think
Yeah, you are. You have to go buy some candy.
Yeah.
And then give it to kids. You've crossed the line.
Right. Right.
What is it W.C. Fields said? Get away from me, kid. You bother me.
Right. Too old.
I'm only 20. I'm not old.
You are
Dude,
too old.
You're too old to be going and trick or treating. Unless, like you said, you're giving it away.
Yeah.
What is the cutoff for trick or treating age?
It's got to
Okay,
be
here we
7.
go.
It's got to be once you turn 18.
No, it's about 11. At 12, you start toilet papering. You know,
Oh. No, see, I don't think
And
we
then
should
you
be
never
getting...
stop.
right? It's
See, that's the
mayhem.
thing. Yeah, the younger one going out is 13, and she's going out with a group of her friends. And so I'm like, I don't know. This could be the year where they're like not just going to go trick or treating. They might have ulterior.
I hope not.
I think if you can drive, then you shouldn't be able to. But I do think that... I think if teenagers want to go out and trick or treat and be fun, have fun, then we should let them and give them candy.
Hell
You're
no.
never too old to TP someone's house or throw raw eggs at them. I just know
Ew.
that it doesn't have to be on Halloween either.
This is the degenerate pile. What are you guys doing?
I'll tell you, 18-year-olds show up at my door. I'm going to invite them in. We're having beers. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god. Come have a fritter and let's sit down and talk about Scientific American.
I'll go TP AT&T since they're only around the corner from where I live.
There you go.
See,
Now you're thinking. That's
Okay.
you, old thought pumpkin.
There you
Good
go.
job.
Getting better. We watched young TJ.
Maybe Verizon too, because they're down the street.
I watched him grow up on the Steeming Pile. Fuck.
yeah,
Midterm
man.
midterm elections.
Oh yeah, that.
What are we gonna
Next
do?
week. Yeah, how are we gonna do this?
I don't
So
know.
I've made a couple of invites from people off. Well, one of them ended up being on the chain, but so I'm hoping that we might have some guests in that, way from some non-regulars. But other than that, I don't know. I think I'm pretty open. I really don't have anything particular in mind. Other than
What tracker are you gonna show? That's what I want to know. I'm gonna have a tracker up that shows the progress that I'll be checking in on. You guys,
What's that? What was that? The Guardian or some shit?
yeah, and they had little icons, but that was for the
Yeah.
presidential though. They had little icons, and they
Yeah,
would
We're
like
not
trot
gonna do it
over.
state by state.
Right.
Right, that's what I mean. We'll have to figure that out between now and then, or I will.
Shoot, yeah.
Who's
We've
gonna-
got some pretty good ballots here too, or some initiatives here.
Who's the libertarian that's going to be showing all the libertarian candidates and their progress in all their elections? Do we have one of those here?
I mean, I can act that way, but I'm not registered. Or maybe I am. No, I'm not anymore.
Are you unaffiliated, or are you just not registered?
I'm registered Republican because of primary reasons.
Jesus.
That's
But you don't
bad.
switch between the. Is it that?
This is going to be fantastic.
I'm not registered to vote in any means necessary because of that discrimination towards like anyone that doesn't want to fucking pick Democrat or Republican here in the state of New York.
Well, you should check out independentvoting.org. They're a good organization to get involved with.
Well, I've actually reached out to them, but like they haven't been able to do anything for me here in New York because like they're very like hardcore liberal here. Like you're either Democrat or get the fuck out.
I hear that.
Yeah, most of mine. I did a lot of write-ins this year.
No, there's only one write-in, babe.
Well, not
yeah,
according to Gone
you're
Rogue.
right. You're right. For governor, right? I think that was for
I
governor.
think it was governor, yeah.
Yeah, and the rest of mine were some libertarian candidates. But yeah,
Yeah, or green.
I like.
I have seen. I have had like a bunch of my friends actually write my name in there, like they vote for
Oh
me.
yeah, yeah.
Oh Lord.
I saw something, I tweeted about it, where Ron Paul was talking about things like auditing the Fed, which is kind of silly in and of itself. But he also was mentioning, I guess, taking off or exempting the tax status of crypto and precious metals. So that was kind of interesting.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of related. So I don't know. That'll be something.
I am actually considering registering Democrat and voting for that guy that is featured on Manabase's website that's advocating for universal basic income in 2020.
Eric.
There you go. Yeah.
Eric Stetson. TGH dude on the web said, if you think New York's hard, try being in California. But he said it on Patrick's chat.
Oh, yes.
He's not paying attention.
I can imagine what California is like.
Well, and at some point I have to point you guys to an article that I saw, and it's been a while back, like 6 months ago, 9 months ago, maybe a year ago. Everything for me is all. But it was about how various government agencies classify crypto, and there's like 3 different agencies that classify crypto as 3 different things.
Yeah.
As an asset class, one agency classifies it as property, another agency classifies it as something else, another agency classifies it as something else. So that thing that Ron Paul is talking about is one of these meta issues that the media will avoid, because it's not profitable. It can't be simplified easily in a yes or no. And, politicians will treat it like the plague. We don't like to deal with the meta issues. As much as I don't like that Trump thinks he can unilaterally change the 14th Amendment, that's one of those things that the Supreme Court has never really effectively dealt with. They've just been kicking the can down the road for a long time.
They're going to treat it like the plague until it starts working for them, and then they're going to, try to regulate it.
Yeah, when they can either leverage the tension and get some profit out of the middle there, or when they can go one route or the other and pretend that it's resolved, that's when they'll deal with it, when there's money to be made.
Well, that's why I said last week, that's why when Gone Rogue was asking about my idea to create a national association for blockchain and cryptocurrency enthusiasts, that's one of the main purposes of the group would be it lets the citizens and people that are in that association lobby, or at least determine how to classify it and start those conversations. So
well, and the interesting is the way the protocol is built, and I've talked about this, is because it's only insecure at the endpoints anyway. It's kind of you're going to have to opt in. You will volunteer in, because if you don't want to be monitored easily, as the technology gets better, those private coins are going to be more private than ever, unless something comes along and breaks the protocol entirely. But that's an age-old cat and mouse. I mean, if the quantum computing can come along and break SHA-256 or whatever, Schnorr signatures, whatever's right around the bend, then, that's the old cat and mouse, because cryptography has always been on the bleeding edge of code. And as sure as we unravel one code, some ingenious person or some consortium of ingenious people come up with another way of encrypting it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the age-old thingy. So I was looking at another thing. Did I mention this already? The moral roots of liberals and conservatives. I'm going to throw that in the
access.
It's a TED Talk. And what this guy talks about is he says that one of the things that we were taught in high school or college or whatever is this idea of philosophy that we all start as a blank slate. And what he postulates is, and he says he looked into anthropology and did a meta-analysis or a meta-survey of anthropology. And he postulates that the human mind in the early stages, in infancy, sort of has a format. It's like if you format your drive, I guess. And it's predisposed to what he calls certain moral foundational aspects. And hold on, let me do a search through the darn page, Control F. What if I type in foundation here? And, well, I guess it'd help if I go on the transcript part of it. Let me click that tab. And now we type in foundation again and hit enter. And so he goes, yeah, we call the 5 foundations of morality. The first one is harm care. The second one is fairness, reciprocity. The third is group loyalty. And he goes down the line and mentions 5 sort of moral foundations. And he says from what he's investigated in the realm of anthropology, like I said, in doing this meta study, is that these are things that we humans, in the early stages, we tend to come up with approaches to the harm care question, moral question, the fairness, reciprocity, how we deal with that. And we tend to either go more conservative or we tend to go more libertarian. And that's interesting. This is what he calls the roots of liberals and conservatives. And that's interesting to me because in a world where we want things simplified and we want things in less than 3 minutes for our attention span, what was I talking about? And we want yes or no answers, then what you do is you forget that most issues aren't really, are you liberal on this or are you conservative on this? Most issues are, which is a better way to deal with this and which is a less effective way to deal with this. And sometimes the solutions are going to seem conservative and sometimes they're going to seem liberal. And then if you live in that environment where it's all sound bites and it's all 3 minutes and you're expected to quickly arrive at a yes or no, right or wrong, good or bad, then what you do is you end up painting the opposing party. They're just not a person who has adopted a conservative viewpoint or a conservative stance on this issue. What they are is they're authoritarian fascist, right? And then they're looking over there at the people who are liberal leaning as concerns said issue, and they're like, well, they're not just the person who has a liberal or flexible standpoint on this issue. What they are is they're libtards or cucks. It's a setup. It's all a setup.
Mm-hmm.
So
just when I thought that the word cuck was about to fall out of fashion.
I'm sorry.
Well, you can always count on the man in the bathrobe to keep words alive.
Well, it's
chenille, isn't it? That's a chenille bathrobe. Does it have coffee cups on it?
Oh
wow.
boy, we can upload the cut from last week.
It does. I have the same one.
Yeah, I'm sure
you
you
get that
do.
From Bed Bath and Beyond.
I think my
no, he got it from his mom.
Did your mama get that from Bed Bath and Beyond? Because I think that's where I got mine.
She has another one. She went and replaced the one that she gave me. Did you know that this robe is the robe that Brad Pitt wears in Fight Club?
Patrick, tell Joel Kruger to come on.
Hey, Joel Kruger, you need to jump on the Steeming Pile.
That's right.
I'll seeing you.
Go to zoom.us and type in 468-186-430.
Go watch Fight Club, and there's a scene where Brad Pitt's in the basement of this broken.
I know the scene.
Yeah, he's wearing this robe. He's wearing our robe.
I love how we have a robe.
Now we have a robe.
What the hell?
This is getting weird, isn't it?
I know. It's.
All I wanted to do was talk about
our relationship just took a turn for the serious.
You guys are doing a good job at perfecting the namesake of the show.
Yeah.
Go learn about the moral roots of liberals and conservatives.
That'd be a very interesting looking robe to put it on a sheep type thingy.
Sheep type.
Does anyone like the organization ALEC?
Is that supposed to be a joke?
You're the only one that got it.
Okay.
It's like
fuck.
I just wondered how people felt about having organizations like that write all of our laws and get them passed at the state level.
Oh yeah, I mean, follow the money. I mean, when I first got out of college, I was writing a blog about reversing Citizens United, and through that blog, I realized like how long ago. I mean, you can go to like '76. I think it was Vallejo. That was the first kind of our starting to like kind of loosen that grip and let things start leaking in. And, you know, here we are where, you know, ALEC can, like you said, just control the legislation and kind of just, they're largely funded by the Koch brothers, right?
I don't know
Or
all. Yeah, I
parts
don't know
maybe.
all the financial ties, but
Yeah, that's something else. What is it? The legislative. I can't even remember what it stands for. But yeah, they actually.
What do you think about Citizens United? I think that it's too far now. That the only way to stop that is to have organizations that better represent.
Well, what I've heard is, they had they were trying to do a new amendment, and you can do that by, getting a certain amount of the states to agree to I can't think of the term right now, but a constitutional convention where you would, they'd show up and they make amendments. Now, everyone's always been worried about it, like Cenk Uygur and the Wolf Pack. And so he's been always trying to push for that. And there's lots of different organizations. He's just one, and he obviously has his own ways of doing things. But the point being is that lots of people are worried that about a runaway convention that, the GOP would get in there and add their own things. Well, they're already doing that. They're already been building an army to try and get a convention and do their own thing. So at this point, it's like, what's stopping us from kind of...
It's just showing up and having a seat at the table. I mean,
exactly.
Honestly, a constitutional convention might be, it's not out of the realm of possibility. You might be able to find people on both ends of the spectrum and a good sized group of both that call it and get it passed. And then the people in the middle are going to have the difficult conversations and not just be fed 3-minute sound bits, and actually have to get their brain in the game and make some decisions and talk about what we really should do as a country.
I think we should abolish all representatives and just have a direct democracy.
So how about anarchy?
Yeah, arguably a direct democracy might not be good. And I've been thinking about this, and it's actually in a book that I tried to read, but just so think about it this way: if you do have a direct democracy, and it's just, who knows what the right answer is. I think we all struggle with this, the problem with governance. If you do have a direct democracy, 55 or 60% of the population might agree on something, and now you're imposing that on 40% of the population. Now, so depending on what it might be, you could have I don't know. I don't know if I'm just pessimistic about it. I don't think that might not work out.
And you had mentioned Dunbar's number last time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with, you can know, sort of basically know the names and faces of about 150 people. Mm-hmm. You can maybe have a community amongst humans of, I don't recall exactly, maybe he says 1,500 or 3,000, something like that. But again, that thing that I was talking about just a moment ago, I mentioned silos versus inclusion. Maybe we need to, in the course of decentralizing, silo things out in a way that's less monolithic. And I'm sorry, I use that word almost every damn time I come here, but that's the problem with centralization. Silo things out in a way that's less monolithic. So it's smaller groups, but thanks to technology, they're more effectively connected and exchanging and interoperable. You see what I'm talking about?
Well, I have brought this concept up on the pile before, the liquid democracy concept.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, like, if not direct democracy, so then maybe liquid democracy. And
well, at some point, the vote has to be cast, though. In other words, at some point, someone's got to voice the yes, the no, or a maybe. And as your your non-representative or whoever's casting the vote, I can't digest 1,500. It's beyond my brain's capacity to process that. We have to break it down. We have to have various heats You know, it's kind of like in sports until you get to the finalist, and then we go with that one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and maybe the best thing to, I don't know. I'm just gonna talk shit now. But maybe the best thing to do, maybe the best thing to do is for each state to fork away from the federal government and start there, right? So now you're decreasing the size of a
So
government
like New
structure.
Hampshire.
Sure. I mean, any state. So you're decreasing the size of the population that you are governing, or and essentially you're trying to localize things, right? Break things down, and we always talk about these grassroots movements, and the best thing to do is get involved locally. Why? Because that's where change happens. That's where most people decide what is good and what isn't for them. They decide as a community. They debate openly, get all these things done. But it's yeah. So I know that's far-reaching.
So I guess that's what I don't get is that is already happening. Like it's not done in a way that some people like, but it is already it's already local, county, state, federal, and it's already that way. It's already set up that way, but we have a participation problem.
Yeah,
because there's a belief that, and there are people that that don't I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it could be vastly different if we take even the individual ideas and implemented them at each of those levels. But it's not being done because people just don't have time, right? I mean, it's basically a slave state with how we get money into our country, and and then there's just no ways to get these ideas out there yet.
Yeah. And
well, I think another concept that I've really thought about is just disbanding the union altogether, and each state becomes its own independent country.
Well, here's what I'm thinking about: is this is not without some history. In the early 20th century, there was an expression that was called "how the other half lives," and there have been books written about this. The 9 Nations of North America is an example that my mom turned me on to, the one that gave us our robe. So my mom turned me on to this book, The 9 Nations of North America, and the reason that they use this expression, "how the other half lives," is because we weren't connected the way that we are. Information traveled slowly. Okay, they didn't have TVs, they didn't have radio, and what they were doing in the industrial Northeast is not what they were doing in the Midwest farming communities. This is not without some history. In other words, things were more segmented in a way that was, of course, we were more of an agrarian society at that point. We were just beginning industrialism or industrialization, and never mind that we've since gone past that. We flew through the manufacturing economy, and now we're in an information economy, which that's what's pushing business along, big business along. But more and more people are involved in the service sector of the economy. That's kind of crazy right there, right? The $755 an hour job is what a lot of people work, more so than ever before.
Sometimes 3.
Well, there you go. And yet what's making the money what's making the money in the USA is innovation and high tech. But anyway, this is not without some history, is my point. Is there was a time not that long ago when we were segmented because it made sense to do it this way. And you know what? It's a different time, but maybe it's time to segment because it makes sense to do so. We just go about it differently.
Yeah. We do something in Seattle that, it's so far beyond what we are even close to being able to do nationally, but they've tried doing democracy vouchers. So you have to opt in. You can, if you're coming in and you've got a lot of money behind you, there's no reason for you to do this unless you want to be, make a point by saying, I'm not going to use my own money. I'm opting into this service. Every voter actually is able to, they get $100, they get 4 $25 vouchers, and you get to donate those to whichever candidates you want. And the deal is every voter use actually a certain amount of their own money, and then they have to only use the vouchers. So if they opt into the program, you know, they're basically saying, hey, I'm not taking any outside money except for the people who support me that are going to vote for me. So there you go. I think that's pretty interesting. So it's I'm interested to see how that plays out here.
Nice. Me too. That because yeah, John, you're right. I mean, we do have what we're talking about as far as these local governments and stuff, but we do have the lobbying that is like a heavy influence on. I mean, even small little communities like where I grew up in Dacono. I mean, Anadarko, for example, an oil and gas company will.
Yeah, I have Boeing in the background yard, so yeah.
yeah. So you know they'll repave the roads, for example.
Yep, dude.
You know, dude, yeah. So I mean, just
all around Boeing is really nice, dude. Like if you know that area.
Yeah.
Are you in Texas?
Who, me?
No, he mentioned Anadarko. That's in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I'm in Colorado.
Oh, you're in Colorado. Okay.
Yeah.
It must be a different Anadarko. That's fine.
Yeah. So I mean, you have small little favors like that essentially by, you know, representatives. That's how it works. Even though it's not like, you know, it might not look like it's
unseemly.
Yeah. It might not look unscrupulous, but like if you really look into it, it really is, man.
Okay, so let's use that as just an example. Doesn't that same shit happen right here?
What do you mean by that?
Right here, like a favor, like doing some work for getting some steam.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
the lights on.
There's no stopping that.
Right.
So
there's a difference between bartering and using, you know. Well, no, maybe I'm not making sense.
No, go ahead. Maybe I mean that's I hear that.
It's difficult, right?
So
I think that Steam, like the Steemians are more like a potluck kind of thing. It's like, well, I do this thing and you do that thing, and here I'll give you this thing, and you promote my stuff, and I'll put your link in my post somehow in some artistic way.
So it's better networking?
Well, it's more voluntary, I think. I think like the less you bring up payment or compensation, the better you're due. You know, like I had somebody who needed something done that I could do, and then she was like, I want to give you something for the work. And I said, I don't really see it as work because I support what you're doing. So the time that I'm spending on this is important to me. It's valuable to me to just get that job done, to take that pressure off of you. It was something she couldn't get done, you know? I don't see a lot of that in the real world. I see like, okay, I'll show up at 9 a.m. and do your bullshit job that sucks the soul out of me. And then I get my money and we don't talk again until my next shift starts.
Yeah, I think on an employer level that is the case. But on like a business to business level or a business to politician level or a non-government organization to someone who provides services, that does happen more often than, I mean, that is what it is, right? That like a politician getting someone a sweetheart deal for something that is one of their friends, that's shady, right? But if it's a networking type thing where you meet someone and they go through the same bid process as any other organization and they get it, then that's a different story.
Well, damn it. Now here we're back to define good. You know, I mean, seriously, you know.
Can you define good on here? I mean, there's a lot of things that go on that some people like, other people don't. Bid bots.
Yeah, exactly.
A big example, upvoting.
Even to a different level, you could look at the delegations that are given out by Steam Inc. To certain platforms like, for example, DTube, as opposed to
Here we go.
All right. Did I ever point you guys towards what's his name? Philosophy Bros article about Foucault and biopower? Here goes nothing. I'll find it. Because we all have. When I think about humans, I think about and I've probably talked about this before. Is we have different interests, we have different preferences, and we have different capacities. And when I talk about capacities, generally I'm talking about cognition or perhaps emotion, right? Some people are more sensitive, some people are more helpful and giving and caring, and some people are less sensitive. They're more in the taking and using category. They're all about some exploitation. They justify this in their minds, right? So we have different capacities, and besides that, some people are made to dig ditches, and other people are made to think deep thoughts and come up with special theory of relativity. So there's capacities, there's preferences. Let's say interest and preferences alone. I have an interest in old trucks, but I like Fords, and you have an interest in old trucks, and you like Chevys. So we have the same interest. We're both interested in old trucks, but our preferences might have us going at each other. And this is why Chevys suck. I'm the Ford fan. And this is why, according to the Ford fan, the Chevy fan, the Ford suck. So, I mean, this is just basic human stuff. And so it's interesting that article that I mentioned by Philosophy Bro, I'll put a link in there and you can read a little bit more about that. Because this is where systems of economics interface with psychology and philosophy. And it gets weird. It always gets weird. 2 hours of shut up time. Here goes.
Interesting stuff. Yeah.
I doubt that very much.
Starting now.
No, that's not going to happen. Everybody knows that, please. Hey, how long have I been here? Anybody?
3 weeks?
No. I mean tonight.
2 weeks?
No. Time
I don't know, 45-ish minutes, maybe.
Seems like in the ballpark.
Yeah, you guys, I'm working on this new Bernie Sanders video.
Yes.
Nice, right on.
Yes.
I feel like I need to get back to work because if I'm awake and I'm not working,
Go for it.
I'm like,
Hey.
I get all jonesy.
Actually,
That setup I set for you, or
I think I'm going to pull up some work for us
did
here.
you try the OBS setup I went and walked you through, or
The OBS is still fucked. I'm still fucked up.
for fuck's sake.
I know.
Everybody's fucked up. Everybody smoked pot.
Well, thanks for jumping in.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
no doubt.
I've got to make Bernie dance around. It's gonna be really beautiful.
Special Halloween OBS tutorial with TJH will happen.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Bookmark that link I put in the chat before you go.
Huh? Oh. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't know. You might like it. I don't know.
It's at OBS. Look at my account tomorrow because I'll make a fucking tutorial.
Good. It's not just a tutorial. Like if I could show you what I've got going on and like that, maybe like a more of a not live stream kind of situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I do have Vim, so.
Well, I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna like.
That's a good
you,
idea.
Poke you.
Cool.
I'm not gonna poke you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Okay.
I'll friend you.
I give up. Good
Well,
night,
thank you so
everybody.
much,
All
Elsie.
right, I'll sing you. Cheers. Have
Bye.
a good
Good
night.
night,
young ladies.
Narash.
Good to see you. Peace.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Be good.
Yo, you guys, how do you feel about I don't know, spending a few minutes on Airtable
Let's do it.
for the Steeming Pile?
Did you guys finish up what we're going to be doing next Tuesday?
About that.
Dude, I don't know. I think there's going to be so much going on by then. If we want, I think everyone could talk about maybe one or two local initiatives maybe that are interesting, because I love the state experiment. That's still one of the biggest things I love about this country is and we're all from different states, so we might have interesting stuff going on as far as that goes. And then just kind of looking at the national, side of things.
I like that.
Yeah,
I dig that.
Yeah, I like that. See,
That's a
one
good
thing I
idea.
was going to say, and then we just go, right? We get sidetracked and off topic and all that kind of stuff. But was like TJH mentioned direct democracy, liquid democracy. You mentioned anarchy and things like that. So I was thinking at least a conversation around what some of the different ways of changing things, because I think that's what it gets down to is
that would be fun.
What the different ways of changing would look like. How would you do that? And like, what's your roadmap?
I like that. That's a great idea. Process.
Yeah, like if you want to do it, right, that's where ideas come from. Like that Margaret Mead quote, it only takes a small group of people to change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has.
Yeah, I'll try and find the article I was reading on the arguments against direct democracy, just to kind of paint a picture of what I was trying to say.
Of course, yeah.
Sure.
If I can next week, if I can just have maybe 5 or so minutes to speak on a little bit of project that does that ties into our witnesses here on Steam, that would also kind of tie into elections and different stuff like that.
Of course, then, yeah.
Nice, right on, yeah.
Okay, Patrick, we'll give you 5 minutes.
That's a hard cutoff, sir.
I can't.
Patrick,
speak.
you are you're like the diamond streamer of the show. I think your wallet combined is more than all of ours put together. So I don't think you need to ask us for. You have 10 viewers. I have 1.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
So
the floor is yours, sir.
Claim your power, Patrick. Don't be humble.
And like I said, you seem all right to me.
He's okay.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
He's one of those weirdo Aquariuses.
I don't know.
How does he know your
What was that
sign?
last word? Oh, Aquarius?
Right?
Weird old Aquariuses. Is that what you said?
Oh, it's from Katie.
Oh, man.
I got it from Katie.
What is with you and her? Huh?
Katie
What is
really your
with
wife,
you and
Pat?
her?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's talking to your wife and he knows your sign.
Yeah. There's a lot to
All
it.
right. Airbase, Airtable.
Well, it started with me explaining to Katie that I'm going to talk to this emo chick at a Guar concert that's coming up, and I asked her
I
for
love Guar.
explain to her that she's a Scorpio, and Katie basically said that she doesn't believe in this astrology stuff. So then, like, we had a bit of a conversation, and I gathered all of her, like her sign and then Patrick's sign, and like gave her an explanation on both of them. And
Yeah.
Oh,
Someone made the
man.
mistake of bringing that up at work, and I was like, oh god, I gotta get into this with this woman right now.
So, dude on the web was on Patrick's channel, and he was chatting, and then he went to mine, and he was chatting, and I didn't reply to him, and I missed him.
Oh no.
So if he's back on your channel, Patrick, tell him
Let's see.
I'm sorry.
Maybe he came to mine. Let me
He didn't
see.
come to yours, Sean. You're just like a
Patrick feel any better? I'm a Pisces.
you're just like a gold streamer, Sean. We're diamonds.
Yeah, he definitely did not come to my stream.
Right?
And going rogue, no one watches BitTube, so
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Here, we go over there right now, see what's going on.
make a post that just like do a
Nothing.
Bernie Sanders post that says,
Nothing.
"Hey everybody,
One viewers.
Who's
That's
on
you, right?
BitTube?
if you're on BitTube watching this, call in, go to zoom.us and go to 468-186-430
Really?
and come in and
And
tell
if
us
you don't, you're gay.
Wow.
no homophobic
Yeah,
statements in the
I'm
chat."
trying to spider off here, man. It's not working, you guys.
Oh,
What?
for Airtable?
No, BitTube.
What is BitTube?
What is spider off?
Yeah.
I mean, spidering off from, Steam, trying something else. Just
Spidering
essentially
around?
I mean, creating a web, right? A
I got you.
vertice and a node.
I like
Vertices
it.
and
From the
nodes.
Steeming Pile.
I
So
love the nerds.
on the politics channel next week, I'm going to be going live from YouTube. and I'm doing it on
Sweet.
Share to Steam.
Really?
Oh, that'll be exciting.
Nice. Smart. That's cool.
Good shit.
Jesus.
Good shit.
I'm gonna see if I can get more viewers than Patrick, and I'm just gonna invite everyone to Steam.
Patrick's gold.
I'm gonna give them all of my referral links instead of Patrick's.
Patrick's diamond.
I mean, if I'm here, you could kiss your viewers goodbye, because I swear all the time on YouTube, and they like say, "Oh no, he swore. He said fuck. What are we gonna do? We gotta make sure no one sees that."
I think.
Do they?
Great.
Will they stop you? Will they black out your stream if you swear?
They won't black it out, but they'll like suppress like the viewership. And
what?
Yeah. No, they do that because I did a Christmas special last year where I was streaming just because I wanted to learn OBS and I wanted to learn broadcasting like through there, and so I was streaming Christmas programs that were in the public domain, and there were a couple that I streamed that they just stopped it. They just shut down the stream altogether.
Really?
I thought that Kevin Smith got us through this in the 90s. I mean, seriously.
No, he did not. I even had some
intelligent people can litter their speech with fuck, shit, and hell all day, and it doesn't mean that they don't know what they're talking about.
There was one movie I streamed. It was called Santa Claus versus the Aliens, and that one got flagged. That one got flagged by the dudes that make the Mystery Science Theater, that company. So they tried to flag it, and I had to go into like basically YouTube litigation with them around whether or not that movie was in the public domain, which I won. Thank you very much.
Right.
And they lifted the copyright restriction from my video. But yeah, like even company, like, and if you're a company and you're in there with YouTube, and the algorithm comes up as, oh, this 30-second bit matches the song that you own the copyright to, you can just shut it down. You can just flag the content.
Wow.
So
one has to do with copyright and distributions and licensing, but I was talking about just the verbiage that you employ.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they do throttle how far it goes if they hear you swearing. I don't know.
Well, I know they do, because like we have 51 subscribers over on YouTube, and just the last couple of days we've been making content, like I said. And we just uploaded it in the last few hours, and like it only says like 1, 2, 3 views.
So how goes the spidering out?
I was gonna say how goes Airtable?
Yeah,
spidering off.
So if you guys, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Airtable, but I know I dropped it off in what was it, Telegram. But essentially, it's a project management tool. It's pretty cool because you could, create a platform, essentially a program or whatever you might call it, and schedule things, try and assign tasks and things like that. So I don't know if the Steeming Pile might find it useful. I think it would be useful. I know we tried doing something with in Google Sheets with the calendar and shit like that, and it kind of it falls by the wayside, right? Because I mean, somebody's got to go in there and kind of keep up with it. What's cool with Airtable is there is an app, a mobile app on your phone, and it's really, really easy to access, and I found it pretty intuitive. So yeah, I mean that's essentially what it is, and there's a bunch of templates in here on different ways to lay out a project and stuff. Event marketing, event planning. There's all kinds of junk. Podcast, editorial calendar, social media calendar. Just a ton of stuff. Cool. Yeah. And yeah, I thought we can try it out and see if everybody likes it, or if it offers us any kind of efficiency, anything like that. So what I'll do here is I'm just going to quickly pick a template and show you guys, kind of navigate around here and show you guys what it looks like here. So I'm going to use this template. Actually, let's go back to base.
Have you ever heard of a thing called If This Then That?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's been around a long time, like maybe 15 years. And it links up events too. And then there's another one that's been around a long time called Zapier, Zapier. And so IFTT.com and I think it's Zapier.com. They do something similar as this.
Okay, right on.
Yeah. They've just been around a while. So I don't know what I'm. The reason I mentioned that is that if this doesn't fit your needs, maybe you could look into them.
Okay, gotcha.
This looks like a more modern version, though.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why I like it. It seems pretty intuitive, right?
Right.
They've got a mobile app and all kinds of
Right.
junk out. I don't know what to give it here. I'll just give it a beer for now. Is the icon. So what's cool is I've gone ahead and created a new base here, named it the
Interesting.
Steeming Pile, gave it an
Right.
icon. If I click on it now, we've got, move this off to the side. And these are examples of, this is an example of something. So this is an already created template. We'll have a, and you guys would have to tinker around with it. I'm just going to give a quick little rundown on what these things are. We've got, these guys broke it down in seasons. Each of these seasons have a segment. And what's cool about this is if you click on this segment, it pulls up a little window and you could edit your segment. Name it something different, toss pictures, add links, toss a description of what the episode's going to be about.
Interesting.
You could add hosts. So you can create little profiles and avatars for people too. So
Cool.
it's really easy. And when you create those, for example,
It's an episode guide.
it is, and it helps out. So if you
Right.
click on a person here, we could create like a John Spalding, right?
Awesome. That guy's
And
awesome. Cool.
give them a title here. It attaches your email. You could add your Steam It blog. It's a nice little way to organize people and then attach those people to certain tasks or add them as hosts. And
Wow.
it goes pretty deep if you want it to. It's actually pretty cool.
Well, it's a lot less confusing than Trello with its 80 billion plugins.
Yeah, and then you have, and let's see. I know there's a different way to view this.
Cool.
Let's go to, no, not grid mode. Is it gallery? Yeah, so you could change your view modes here too. Yeah, it's just really cool, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and start something for the Steeming Pile. What's cool is I could share this link with you, and you don't have to have an account or anything to view the link and add stuff on there. As long as we give each other rights to this. But if you do create a profile, then it's that much easier. But it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I'm going to go ahead and create one. Just share it with you. You guys could poke around and mess around with it, see if you like it.
I think that could increase the professionality of this show. I don't know if I'm really open to that.
Oh, we're professional.
Oh, wait a minute. We'll just do a little cut of what you said about the show in the beginning of in the beginning.
But when I had to go pee?
Before that, you're like, we got a shout out from Steam It. This is one of the most.
No way. No, we're professional. No doubt about it.
Oh, no. No doubt.
So, I like it, because one of the things I was about to do before I came here, because I forget what I rattle on about, now that we're in season 15 and 150 episodes, but at least the way I talk, you would think so, is I wanted to go look at Narashi's graphics and as a reminder of what it is that we've discussed and the things that we've gone over so I don't repeat myself. If you had something like this that you could traverse easily and that gives you a good visual display,
I like it.
I think it'd be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, but nobody wants to be the guy in charge of data entry for the back catalog. So, right? So maybe use it going forward.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Then and that would be the point. Yep. And I mean, I would totally keep this thing up to date, and it's pretty easy to contribute, toss stuff in there. I didn't find it really hard to even navigate around or anything like that. I found it pretty easy, man.
How many episodes of the Steeming Pile have you had, Mr. Spalding?
This is 30.
30? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. You'd think that you guys would all be diamonds like Patrick. I guess we can't all be diamonds like Patrick, though.
Hey, man.
Well, I mean, we've only been on Vim since What's-Her-Nuts left
I was
town.
going to say, that hurt me. That really set me back when to not be named left. I really was gaining steam.
Oh, no pun intended, or all
no,
pun
intended, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Walk, Kent the cunt, see lie.
That being said, though, I really like this platform.
30 episodes.
Yeah.
You're liking Vim.
I do like Vim. I like the fact that I can embed it on my WordPress site, and that I can have Steam Press connected to my WordPress site, and getting more automation by the moment with all these developers doing good work on the blockchain.
Sweet. Absolutely.
We're us at the Stranded Punks would really like to see the share to Steam expand like Twitch, because
that's next. You got to get on their Discord. Twitch is next, and then something after that. But yeah, Twitch is next in line.
Just getting started.
A lot of people don't know that we've actually started our online endeavors back on like Ustream and Justin TV back in the day. So that's like our Justin TV. Like that's how old
2009
our content is.
Wow.
Old school.
Yeah.
You talk about Justin TV, people are like, you old motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right, stop sharing here.
All right, guys, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, same here.
Me too.
You guys want me? Okay, I was gonna say I'll keep the room open if you want.
Hey, quick question. So I went ahead and made the graphic post already. Should I wait to post that? What do you guys think?
I wouldn't. I would say if you're cool with it and you're ready to post it, then go ahead, because we can always update it later if you want, or if we want.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just meant because I made the other graphic post today. It was super late, so that would be two in one day.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't ever really know the protocol or best practice for that.
Okay, I'm getting
I'd say, do it whenever you feel it's right.
And then just let us know so we can upvote it.
Let me ask you on Discord, someone either put in the Steeming Pile area of Discord or maybe message me directly and give me a little more information about the Telegram. And also that thing that you were just messing around with in there, Gone Rogue. I forget the name of it already. Oh, Airpile? Is it called it?
Airtable.
Airtable.
Do you have Telegram? You have a Telegram account?
No, but I'm willing to go check it out if you want to put that information on Discord, or like I said, add me directly on Discord and send it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm interested in being more involved, and also I think if you're going to do the Airtable, then maybe link that in the Discord as well. I've gotten the feeling over time that you guys, though you have a Discord channel, it's just not that active. In fact, I thought tonight we were going to have a guest from Steam Savvy, and I came in here and I started looking like, there's no Steam Savvy guy here, and I'm like, where have I heard that before? And it was something from the 22nd.
We did it on Saturday.
Yeah, it's still the last thing that was up there. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's long gone. The last entry on Discord. Keep me in the loop.
We will. We'll get you
All right.
both of those links.
Okay, good. Do that. I'd appreciate it.
All right, I went ahead and posted it, you guys.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Narashi. You're not only great with graphics, but you're handling a lot of stuff.
And ESP, just so you know that we do have the Telegram link on the bottom of all of our posts.
Oh. Okay, maybe I should pay more
But
attention.
we'll send it to you because you're special and we like you.
Oh. Well, you know, and I feel guilty that I'm just not involved enough here. I wish I could do more.
Listen, you show up, you carry conversations, bring good topics, do your preemptive strikes.
I just yak. You guys are great to hang out with. I'm going to go.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Peace.
Guys and girl.
Yeah, good night, you guys.
Take care.
See you
night.
next
Have a good one.
Tuesday for
Bye,
the
everyone.
election night
Woo,
special.
for some politics.
Tuesday.
It's going to be
31.
fun as hell.
Ah, fuck.
Bonus hail.
Later, ESP change. I've been talking this
Peace.
whole time saying goodbye, and I was on mute. Hey, nice
Yes,
to see
you
you
were.
back, though, Pat.
Yes, thank you guys.
Oh, Pat's
Yes.
here?
Good to see you.
You missed it
Oh,
last week.
Jesus.
Oh,
Patsy,
wait, what?
Simon.
Jesus.
Is he streaming?
Borderline asshole, John.
Thank you for
Borderline.
reminding me about Pat not being
There's
here.
no borderline. It's 100% total. Listen,
All right.
we wouldn't have a pile without any of you, so.
That's right.
All right, see you next week.
All right,
Cheers, you
everyone.
guys. Later,
All
TJ.
right,
Bye,
good night,
TJ.
guys.
Bye, TJ.
Later,
Bye,
Sean.
everyone else.
Later, John.
Peace.
Let's see.
And then there was no one.